Next, I'm going to show you how to use Power now along with my, so the size I want. Now you can see I've got that logo in the, now I can click, transform, fit to screen, mix it a little, and I can shrink. Logo and so and open OBS, we're going to have my little logo. Free use for kind of advanced use PowerPoint to create a very professional looking interactive OBS overlay that you can use for kind of advanced things.
Hello, my name is Scott Victor, and here's tonight's top stories. Bob Gripholder from Broward County was charged with assault after throwing a live alligator through a drive-through window. Rick Tamlin from Collier County tried to kill a man with kindness while swinging a machete named Kindness. Brian Fantana was arrested for fighting a drag queen with a tiki torch and is now running for mayor. And I will provide an easy and fun tutorial on how to create this news overlay in OBS Studio. You stay classy, YouTube viewer. Let's get some. Electrify your online presence with live streaming. Okay. The question of the day is, did that capture your attention? Did you actually laugh at that, or was that super duper cringe? I think maybe the latter. We'll see in comments. So how did we get here in regards to this tutorial? Well, David Sybreck made a comment 2 days ago, and he said, I'd like to see a scrolling like regular TV channels use to tell us about breaking news and weather alerts. I think he's talking about a news overlay for OBS Studio. It's a lower third. I'm going to show you how to put this together. The following topics are what we're going to cover. We'll first discuss how to make the graphic, where to get inspiration to make your own custom graphics, and how to download my demonstration that you see in this tutorial. I'll provide a link in the description. More on that in just a second. We'll also get into the CodePen website and why it is an absolute epic resource for you. We'll discuss how to search, how to download, and the philosophy of use in regards to backing up your work when you make changes to the code. I'll explain it to you. It's not difficult, and it is an absolute ton of fun. Then we'll get into adding the scroller to OBS Studio and adding the horizontal scroller as well as the vertical pause scroller, and that will contain a code pen, so we'll go through that process. And then finally, we'll add a code pen that is a little tiny clock. It'll go AM and PM based on the time of the day. It uses your system time to display it. It's really cool. So when you're done with this tutorial, you will walk away with a healthy knowledge on how to grab assets from CodePen and add it to a graphic so that it makes this lower third just exactly like what you would see on CNN or Fox News or whatever news, right? It's going to be awesome. Let's get started. Initially, I thought this would be super duper easy, but actually it turned out to be kind of difficult to sort of wrap your head around what looks like a news lower third. So I went to Google Images and typed in the word news lower third, hit enter, and it lists all these great examples, and it kind of gets your head in the right place in regards to what works. If you like something that you see here, you can click it. It'll give you a preview on the right-hand side. If you click it again, it'll take you to the website that's selling it and then provides even more examples of stuff that you can look at. I realize that these are all behind a paywall, so if you're not interested in actually buying something, you can actually download the one that I used in this example for free. The link is in the description. Inside there is an animated GIF with a green background that you can make transparent. All the slices, they're all transparent, so you can bring it into any editor. And if you have Photoshop, I've included a PSD file as well. well. I have to tell you that if you're interested in using free software to make your own graphic, you can do that with a program called Photo P. It's great. It's just like Photoshop. And the resolution that I'm using is 1920 by 1080, which is 1080p. All right. Oh.
अनिल जी, जब मैं इस घर में आता हूँ तो बड़ी खुशी होती है और देखता हूँ कितना वार्मथ है यहाँ और वगैरह वगैरह जो भी होता है। मगर एक चीज़ है कि यहाँ की एक एक ईंट, एक एक पत्थर, एक एक हर चीज़ में खून पसीना और मेहनत है। कोई स्कैम नहीं है, कोई लक नहीं है, कोई नसीब नहीं है। It's all hard work and blood and sweat. I was dating Sunita, and my thing was that I will only propose to her when I'll be able to afford a house.
It becomes home for people that I really kind of value and trust, and it's also something of my own. You know what I mean? I think that's really, really important. It's like this house is like Harsh through and through. Hi, I'm Harsh.
Hi, I'm Anil Kapoor.
You're watching me on Asian Paints, where the heart is.
Welcome to my home. Hey, just one to welcome to my home. Come. Well, this home is, it's got a lot of history. And when Sonam was born, from Beach Candy, we came to this house. And that's the first time we came to this house. So I bought one apartment. Usually क्या होता है कि सब लोग building को अपना बंगले को building बनाते हैं. But for me, it was totally different. It was a building and I made it into a home, into a bungalow. Dream was to buy a house. So the first house actually was after we made Hummus pregnant, and then Sonam was born, and from there we came here. And the journey started in this house. And this is the house I'm sitting and speaking to you right now. This is the an apartment which I bought the last. Somewhere, I think, very gracefully and very generously, my wife says, you can spend time here. So it's not a den, but if you want, you can call it a den. So what are my favorite places? You see this chair? It's kind of a chair from a church. It's like the way you pen, you do the pens, and you stand over here. So I sometimes sit here, stand here, and when there are, story narrations or script sessions which happen over here. I like the colors over here, and I like, you have this dream of, think about England, you think about London, you think about these kind of places. I wanted that kind of feel. So I think somewhere it has got a little bit of that feel, not exactly, but some feel is there. That's what I like about that place, It gives me that feeling as if I'm in Great Britain, I'm in London. Come. This is the gym. Come inside. I spend my time, a lot of time during COVID over here. For me, my heart is where my work is. It's on the sets. I know people say your heart is where your home is. Definitely, but my heart is what makes Sunita happy. She has built this beautiful home, including the, piece by piece. She has put it together. So what makes her happy makes me happy. So come on, let's go up. Woman was discussing this. Sir, yaar, budget nahi hai. So I said, "Mele paise, put it out in the universe. This is your first home. Just put it out. You're going to stay here. Just put it out in the universe. The money will come, someone or the other." And I was so happy that Bowman, remembers this because people forget. So that's his, greatness that he remembers it. And yes, of course, I did encourage him. Stretch yourself, and the money will come. And the money came, and he bought the house. Same as with my other friends. Yeah. I love coming here, and it's so beautiful. The air and the breeze and, the plants. It's lovely to be here, lovely. Sunita and her mum, they loved trees and plants and greens and flowers. And I think because of them that everything has come into my life. I want to say something, For 38 years, I've been living in this home. And whenever I went out of station or anywhere out of Bombay and I come back home, she would decorate the entire home with flowers. And I didn't notice it. I said, and one day I asked her, I said, from the entrance to the every room has got fresh flowers. I say, you notice it now? I've been doing it from the whenever you go out, I do this. And I just took it for granted. I think that's what home is. You can't just, take it for granted. Your home will look very beautiful and your home will look very warm and welcome if you look after it like a child. It's like, how the child grows up and you have to look after it. So I think that's what home is. You have to take care of it. Let me now take you to Harsh's pad.
Please. A handshake. Come on. Sorry. This is kind of like a dream for me in a way, to kind of be able to have this in the heart of the city. What I really liked about this is you're right on the water, but you're also cocooned by trees. So you have that kind of privacy. So we're basically in the living space. I didn't really need a traditional living room. And so what I did is I used the opportunity to use the space to kind of build a cinema, and it's been built and polished specifically to kind of fit in with the room and for the equipment to kind of be able to rest in there. When I walked in here, I always had this kind of fantasy that I'd be able to watch a film or listen to music in my cinema and have this incredible audiovisual experience, and then step out into nature and then look at the trees and the sea. I think that's kind of like a dream that kind of came alive. So I love this space.
I love coming here. Like sometimes he doesn't want me to come, but sometimes I drop in over here. If I have to impress someone with the sound and music and film, I use this, I exploit it.
Every nook and corner feels lived in. It feels like a home, and that's the key, and that's kind of the same quality that I wanted to kind of bring to this space. Each space should kind of flow into the next. So there was this one vacant space here right next to the bed, and I was like, I don't want to do the generic thing and get a side table. What can I put here that's just going to elevate the space, still not make it feel cluttered, and it not be generic? And then we found that wonderful lamp, and then we just it just fit perfectly in that area. When I walked into this place, now what is the sneaker room was just another bedroom. It's kind of overwhelming to kind of walk in there and know that you have like hundreds of pairs of shoes you need to kind of fit into this space, but you also want to make it look appealing. You don't want to make it look cluttered. You don't want to make it look like it's a mess. We had different shades of color, and then we ended up going for a darker color because we wanted the color of the shoes to stand out, right? So essentially, if you go darker there, your eyes are immediately just going to the different tones and the hues of the shoes. House has now finally been able to really blossom. Even all the rooms are very airy and, because I feel like they needed that space for themselves also. They don't realize it, but they have large lives.
Whoever comes to my house, I hope we as a family have done our best to look after them and feel good and feel nice and feel welcome. I have one life. I would rather be happy and make people happy all around me and do whatever I can to do that. You can call that my style.
If you're inspired by the decor of the Juhu Bungalow or my living space here in Bandra, all you need to do is click on the link below in the below description for a lovely style guide, beautifulhomes.com.
Okay, why is CodePen so epic? I'll tell you why. It's a community of programmers who are submitting HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to create artwork, applications, you name it. It's a universe of stuff, and it can all be run locally on your computer as a browser source. So basically, just about everything that you see in this gallery, you can bring in as a source. Okay, so if I'm here at codepen.io and I do a search for animated tunnel, for example, right? Hit enter. Oh, wow, look at that. it returns this animated tunnel that's created in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So if I click it, it gives me the 3 elements that comprise this animation. This animation is crazy cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click the pin icon in the upper right-hand corner here, and that will allow me to access it later because I logged into my account. If I go back to the home page real quick and I select pinned items, it should show up there. There it is. Now, if I want to download this thing, all you have to do is go down to the lower right-hand corner here and click export and export as zip. And that will download it to my downloads folder on my computer. Right-click on the zip file and uncompress it with your favorite program. I use 7-zip, extract files, hit OK. Creates a folder, open it up again, and it shows you this stuff. If you click the license.txt file, you just want to make sure that you have permission to put this on your live stream. It says permission is hereby granted free of charge. In most cases, it's going to say this because HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is like the languages of tinkerers, and the community shares everything. A lot of times people will bring in a project and fork it out and do different stuff. So it's very open-ended and super cool. That's why I absolutely love CodePen. It's just fantastic. So in most cases, you'll be fine. So you can get rid of that stuff. The README Markdown, you can just delete that, get it out of the way. The distribution folder is what we want to actually use. The SRC, you don't have to worry about. So you can delete that too. So inherently what we're going to do with these things is modify them so that they're the right color, the right speed, they say the right things. You're always going to want to tinker with it. And I highly recommend that you copy the distribution folder and paste it so that you have a backup just in case you make a change and screw up the whole thing. So I'm going to make a copy and call it backup. So now when I go in the distribution folder here, I can go into the JavaScript and the styles and the HTML and make changes without any worries. I can always go back to the backup. Here's what this thing looks like full screen when I click the index.html file. Watch this. This thing is sick. Are you kidding me? This is like a shader. Wow. Okay, let's set up these vertical scrollers. But before we do that, real quick, I want to go over the core assets that make the foundation of the graphic. The first one is the red spinning planet Earth. The graphic for that was found at Pixabay, which is an absolute fantastic source for video. You'll get the search bar, select images, make sure that video is selected, and the query that I searched was rotate blue Earth, hit enter, and boom, there it is. It's a blue video, okay? I saved it to my hard drive or brought it in as a source by just dragging it right in there, and then I added a filter called color correction, and these are the parameters. Color multiply color is red, color add is black. The next thing that I added is the lower third graphic, which again, I just dropped it in. It's a transparent ping, cut and dry. The next thing I put in was the animated GIF that shows the breaking news. Again, I just dragged it in and made sure it was looping, and you're good to go. Now, the horizontal scroll is dead simple. All you do is add a text source, which I've done right here, added the line of text, right? I separated them with pipes with a couple spaces between each one. Hit OK to that, right-clicked on it, went into filters, and selected the scroll filter, and these are the parameters for that. Cut and dry, it's not rocket science.